So the bag says large lima beans. I grew up calling these beans butter beans. Let's have these for dinner tonight. It's just like pinto beans, any dried beans. You're going to look them. And when I say look them, I just mean pour them into your hand, search for any kind of rock or dirt or debris. Typically, I don't find any in lima beans. I'm not sure why, they're always really clean, but I'm gonna look them anyways just to make sure. And I really don't want this whole entire pound. It's actually 2 pounds. So I'm just going to cook about half of them in the slow cooker today. If you have too many and you don't eat them all, you can freeze them. I don't soak my dried beans, lots of people do. But I'm just gonna rinse these, pop them in the crock pot with some salted pork maybe, if I have any in the freezer. And we'll have some dried beans and cornbread for supper tonight. You just wanna wash them. Now I'm just gonna cover them with water. And you need to cover them a good inch, inch and a half. Put the lid on. And then I'm going to go over to the freezer. Just going to drop that down into the beans and put the cover back on. And now I'm going to go to work. So my butter beans have been on since 7 o'clock this morning. They're ready to eat. So I like them a little bit thicker. So I'm going to press the beans against the side of just a few of the beans along the side of the pot. And then just stir that in, and the natural starch in them will help thicken it up a little bit. I'm going to remove that meat and let that cool, and I can get some of that ham off of it. Now I'm going to taste them just to see if I need to add any salt. You never want to add the salt in the beginning. It does need a little bit of salt. I'm going to add a good teaspoon here and stir that in. Let it simmer a little bit more, and then I'll taste again. Well, to go with my beans, I'm going to make some fried cornbread. I'm going to start off with 1.5 cups of cornmeal. This is cornmeal mix, so it's self-rising. I'm going to add 1 egg. And some buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, you can use just regular milk. And you're just going to stir that up. And we're going to go over to the skillet and fry these into cornbread fritters. I have some oil heating up in my iron skillet. I'm just going to drop this down into that hot oil. It's about medium high heat. You don't want them to touch if you can help it, so they get good and crispy on all the edges. Gonna let those cook and then flip them over. They're still pretty runny on top. We're gonna let those cook just a little bit longer. They're starting to get brown on the bottom, but we're just gonna let it go for just a little bit longer. Okay, let's flip them over. They're starting to get a little bit too brown. This seems to happen in my iron skillet. They were still a little doughy on top. Take these first 3 out of the skillet. We'll be ready to add some more. I'll need to add a little bit more oil. While the cornbread was frying, I went ahead and took the meat off of that salted pork. So we have just a little ham in there. It tastes really good in these beans. And we're ready to eat. So I let my beans cook all day in the crock pot. I took the salted pork out, took the ham off of it. And now I'm going to add it all to my bowl. I've made fried cornbread, fried okra, and some fresh corn from my freezer. Well, it was fresh when I put it in the freezer. So there's my meal for tonight, a good country meal.